Welcome back to the channel, Rare Coins Collections, where we uncover the hidden treasures of the numismatic world. Today, we have a very exciting topic to explore: the 1963 Lincoln penny. You might think, it's just a penny, right? It's only worth 1 cent. But trust me, this particular penny could be worth far more than you ever imagined. If you're a coin collector or just starting out, this is one penny you'll definitely want to pay attention to. Now, the Lincoln penny is no stranger to collectors. Introduced in 1909, it's one of the most iconic coins in American currency. The image of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, has graced the obverse side of the coin since its inception. Over the years, various versions and mint marks have been produced, with each one holding its own special story and potential value. The 1963 Lincoln penny, in particular, stands out for several reasons, making it a prime target for collectors looking for rare coins to add to their collection. First, let's talk about the history behind this penny. The 1963 Lincoln penny was struck at a time when the U.S. Mint was continuing its tradition of producing the popular wheat reverse design. For most of the 1950s and early 1960s, pennies featured the wheat stalks on the reverse side, symbolizing the nation's agricultural roots. However, by 1959, the U.S. Mint would switch to the Lincoln Memorial reverse design, which would continue until the modern shield design was introduced in 2010. The 1963 penny, therefore, represents an important part of American numismatic history, as it was one of the last years to feature the iconic wheat design before the switch to the memorial. But what makes the 1963 Lincoln penny truly remarkable in the eyes of collectors? It's not just the historical context or the design that makes this penny valuable, it's the rarity of well-preserved examples and the potential for unique minting errors. You see, most of these pennies were heavily circulated during their time, which means they often show signs of wear. The condition of a coin is one of the most important factors in determining its value. Coins that are well preserved, with no noticeable wear or damage, can be worth much more than those that have been through years of circulation. When we talk about coin condition, we refer to a grading system that evaluates how well a coin has been maintained. Coins that are graded as MS65 or higher, meaning they are in mint state, are considered highly valuable. Finding a 1963 Lincoln penny in such excellent condition is rare, and that's where the value skyrockets. The better the condition, the more it can fetch on the open market, and when it comes to a 1963 penny, the higher grade examples can be worth much more than you'd expect. But that's not all. There's another factor that could increase the value of a 1963 Lincoln penny: the possibility of minting errors. These errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in coins that have unique flaws or characteristics. For example, an off-center strike, a double die, or a misaligned design can make a coin a rare and valuable collector's item. Let's say you find a 1963 penny with a double die error on the obverse, where Abraham Lincoln's image is duplicated or misaligned. That could make the coin extremely valuable. Minting errors are highly sought after by collectors, as they are unique and can't be recreated. If you happen to find a 1963 Lincoln penny with one of these errors, you could be holding a true treasure in your hands. So, what's the actual value of a 1963 Lincoln penny? The value can vary significantly depending on its condition, rarity, and any potential minting errors. Most 1963 pennies in circulated condition are only worth a few cents above their face value. However, when you find a well-preserved, uncirculated example, especially one with a minting error, that's when the real value begins to emerge. And here's the exciting part: if you have a 1963 Lincoln penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, it could be worth an astonishing $33,000. Yes, you heard that right, $33,000. That's the kind of value you could potentially unlock with a rare and well-preserved 1963 Lincoln penny. It's incredible to think that something as simple as a penny could be worth thousands of dollars. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. Sometimes, the smallest coins hold the greatest treasures. So, if you have a collection of old pennies or are out searching through rolls of coins, don't overlook those 1963 Lincoln pennies. Take a closer look at their condition, and keep an eye out for any unique errors. You might just be holding onto a small fortune without even realizing it. That's all for today's deep dive into the 1963 Lincoln penny. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that you might have passed by in your change without giving it a second thought, the 1964 Lincoln penny. While this coin might look like any other penny at first glance, it holds a much greater value than you could ever imagine. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll see just how much a simple 1964 penny could be worth. The Lincoln penny has been a part of American currency for over a century now. Introduced in 1909, this coin was created to honor the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. His profile graces the obverse side, while the reverse has undergone several changes over the years. The design of the penny has seen two main phases: the classic wheat reverse and, since 1959, the Lincoln Memorial reverse. The 1964 penny, the focus of today's discussion, features the iconic wheat stalks on the back, symbolizing the nation's agricultural roots and honoring the country's history. But why does the 1964 Lincoln penny deserve special attention? Well, the story starts with the fact that 1964 was an important year for U.S. coins. By the end of that year, the U.S. Mint made the significant decision to stop using silver in many of its coins, including the dimes and quarters. The 1964 penny, however, was still composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, meaning it's one of the last pennies of its kind before the composition of coins changed. This copper content is a key factor in the coin's value, as copper has always been a highly sought-after metal, and in the years following the 1964 penny, coins would shift to a more economical copper-plated steel design. So, while the 1964 Lincoln penny might seem like a standard piece of currency, it's more than just its metal content that gives it significant worth. The true value of this coin lies in its rarity and condition, which is something that collectors pay close attention to. While millions of these pennies were minted and circulated during 1964, finding one in uncirculated or mint condition is relatively rare. Most of these coins were used in daily transactions, which means that they've likely experienced some wear, scratches, and discoloration over the years. However, a well-preserved, uncirculated 1964 penny can be a real treasure, often fetching far more than its face value. But there's another exciting element to the 1964 Lincoln penny: the possibility of minting errors. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, resulting in a coin that has unique features, such as double dies, misprints, or off-center strikes. These errors are often incredibly rare and highly coveted by collectors because they can't be reproduced. A 1964 penny with a minting error, such as a double die, can be worth much more than a typical coin in perfect condition. In fact, collectors are constantly on the lookout for these one-of-a-kind errors, as they can make a seemingly ordinary penny into a valuable and desirable piece. So, let's talk about the value of a 1964 Lincoln penny. If you have a coin that has been well preserved in uncirculated condition, it's worth far more than its original face value of just 1 cent. In fact, it's not unheard of for a pristine 1964 Lincoln penny to be worth several $100s, depending on its grade. But if you happen to have a coin with a rare minting error or other unique features, the value can skyrocket to much higher levels. Now, I know you're all wondering, just how much could a 1964 Lincoln penny be worth? Well, let me tell you, if you have a coin that is in exceptional condition, or one with a rare minting error, it could be worth a stunning $37,000. Yes, you heard that right, $37,000 for a single 1964 Lincoln penny. That's the potential value if you have a rare, uncirculated example or one with an error that makes it stand out from the rest. It's incredible to think that a coin that is just 1 cent in value could be worth so much. But that's the magic of the coin collecting world. So, how can you determine if you have one of these hidden treasures? First, take a close look at the condition of the coin. Is it well preserved? Does it look like it has been sitting untouched for decades? If so, you might have a gem on your hands. And secondly, keep an eye out for any minting errors. If your 1964 penny has a unique feature, like a double die or misaligned design, it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1964 Lincoln penny is just one example of how even the most common coins can turn into valuable treasures. Whether it's due to its historical significance, the copper content, or the possibility of a rare minting error, the 1964 penny has become a sought-after piece for collectors all over the world. If you found a 1964 Lincoln penny in your collection, take a moment to examine it carefully. You might just be holding on to a small fortune. And who knows? That humble penny might be worth far more than you ever thought possible. Today, we're taking a closer look at a coin that many people overlook, the 1968 Lincoln penny. While most people might dismiss it as just another penny, this particular coin can actually be worth a small fortune if you know what to look for. Stick around as we explore the history, rarity, and true value of the 1968 Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny, a staple of American currency, has been in circulation for over a century. First introduced in 1909, it was designed to honor Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The reverse of the coin, which originally featured wheat stalks, was redesigned in 1959 to showcase the Lincoln Memorial, which continued to be used until 2008. The 1968 penny falls into the era of the Lincoln Memorial reverse. But that's just the beginning of why this penny holds so much potential value. 1968 was an interesting year in American history. The country was amidst a period of social and political upheaval, marked by the civil rights movement, the Vietnam War, and cultural change. While these events weren't directly related to the coin, they created the backdrop for the U.S. Mint to continue producing coins for daily circulation. Little did anyone know that the 1968 Lincoln penny would become a key part of numismatic history, thanks to its rarity and potential value for collectors. Now, let's talk about what really makes the 1968 Lincoln penny special. At first glance, you might think this is just another standard penny, nothing too extraordinary about it. But here's the kicker: the value of a coin isn't just determined by its age, design, or historical significance. It's also about the coin's condition and whether it has any unique features. And that's where the 1968 Lincoln penny stands out. One of the main factors that determine the value of any coin is its grade or condition. Coins that have been circulated for years often suffer from wear and tear, losing their original details, shine, and overall quality. But some coins, like the 1968 Lincoln penny, were carefully stored and have remained in near-mint condition for decades. These well-preserved pennies are incredibly rare and are highly sought after by collectors. A 1968 penny in pristine, uncirculated condition can be worth far more than just a few cents. But it doesn't stop there. Minting errors are another key reason why the 1968 Lincoln penny is so valuable. These mistakes occur during the production process, and sometimes a penny is struck in a way that makes it unique. For example, an off-center strike, double die, or misalignment in the design can make a coin stand out from the rest. Minting errors are extremely rare, and collectors often pay top dollar for coins that have these one-of-a-kind features. Imagine finding a 1968 Lincoln penny with a double die, where the image of Abraham Lincoln appears more than once, slightly overlapping. Or a penny with a misaligned design, where the reverse doesn't line up properly with the obverse. These types of errors make the coin highly collectible and can cause its value to skyrocket. But what does this all mean for the actual value of the 1968 Lincoln penny? Well, most 1968 pennies are worth just their face value, or slightly more, especially if they're in decent condition. However, when you start talking about a 1968 penny that is uncirculated or has a minting error, the value can increase dramatically. You could be looking at a coin worth thousands of dollars, depending on the rarity of the minting flaw and the condition of the coin. And here's the exciting part: if you happen to have a 1968 Lincoln penny in perfect condition, or one with a rare minting error, it could be worth an incredible $42,000. Yes, you read that right, $42,000. $0.000 for a single 1968 Lincoln penny. It's amazing to think that a coin that was once worth just 1 cent could now be valued at such a high price. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. Sometimes, the most overlooked coins can hold unimaginable value, if you know what to look for. So, how do you determine if you've got one of these rare 1968 Lincoln pennies? Start by carefully inspecting the coin for signs of wear. If it's in mint condition, without any scratches or damage, you could already have a valuable find on your hands. Then, check for any minting errors. Does the image of Lincoln look unusually doubled? Is the design misaligned? If so, you might have a one-of-a-kind error coin that collectors would be eager to add to their collections. The world of coin collecting is full of hidden treasures, and the 1968 Lincoln penny is just one example of how seemingly ordinary coins can turn into valuable artifacts. Whether it's because of its historical significance, its composition, or the possibility of rare minting errors, this penny has become a sought-after item for numismatists around the world. If you've been holding on to any old pennies or happen to come across a 1968 Lincoln penny in your spare change, take a closer look. It could be the key to unlocking a small fortune. Who knows, you could be holding onto a coin worth far more than you ever thought possible. Today, we have something truly exciting to talk about: the 1970 Lincoln penny. You might think that a simple penny from the 1970s is just another piece of pocket change, but let me tell you, this coin could actually be worth a small fortune. Stick around because in this video, we'll uncover everything you need to know about the 1970 Lincoln penny and how it might be worth far more than you think. The Lincoln penny has been a part of American currency since 1909. Initially created to honor Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, the penny has undergone a few design changes over the years. The reverse of the coin was originally adorned with 2 stalks of wheat until 1959, when the design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial, which is still seen on pennies today. The 1970 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, but there's more to this coin than meets the eye. 1970 was an interesting year in the United States, filled with political unrest, cultural shifts, and significant events that shaped the country. However, in the world of coinage, 1970 was notable for a few reasons. While there was a considerable amount of inflation in the 1960s, the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins as usual. The 1970 penny, made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, was part of this ongoing effort. It was a time when copper was still being used in U.S. coins before the eventual shift to copper-plated zinc pennies a few years later. So, what makes the 1970 Lincoln penny stand out? Well, it all comes down to the condition of the coin and some very rare minting errors that occurred during its production. Like most pennies from this era, the 1970 penny was widely circulated, which means that many of them have suffered from wear and tear over the years. Most pennies from this year will likely show signs of use, such as scratches, discoloration, or dullness. However, there's a catch. If you happen to find a 1970 penny in excellent, uncirculated condition, or one with a rare minting error, you could be in for a major payday. In the world of numismatics, the condition of a coin is everything. Coins that have remained in pristine condition, free from scratches, dents, and discoloration, are far more valuable than their worn-out counterparts. This is especially true for the 1970 penny. While these coins were initially mass-produced and used for regular transactions, a few have survived the test of time in near-perfect condition. These uncirculated coins are highly sought after by collectors who are willing to pay a premium for coins that retain their original details and shine. But that's not the only thing that makes the 1970 Lincoln penny valuable. Minting errors are another reason why this penny can be worth far more than its face value. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process. Sometimes, a coin is struck multiple times, resulting in a double image. Other times, the coin is struck off-center, causing the design to appear misaligned. These errors are incredibly rare, and collectors actively seek out coins with these unique characteristics. For example, a 1970 penny with a double die error, a coin where the image of Abraham Lincoln appears more than once, can be extremely valuable. Or if the coin was struck off-center, it could fetch a significant price in the right market. These minting errors turn an otherwise standard penny into a rare, one-of-a-kind collectible. Now, you're probably wondering just how much a 1970 Lincoln penny can be worth if it's in great condition or has one of these rare errors. The value can vary depending on the specific characteristics of the coin, but let me tell you, some of these pennies have been known to fetch incredible amounts of money at auction. A well-preserved 1970 penny in mint condition can be worth a few $100s, but if it has a rare minting error, the value can go up dramatically. And here's the most exciting part. If you have a 1970 Lincoln penny in excellent condition, or one with a minting error, it could be worth an astonishing $45,000. Yes, you heard that right, $45,000 for a single 1970 Lincoln penny. That's the potential value of a rare, well-preserved penny or one with a unique minting flaw. It's amazing to think that a coin that was once worth just 1 cent could now be valued at tens of thousands of dollars. So, what should you do if you think you've found a rare 1970 Lincoln penny? Start by closely examining the condition of the coin. If it's uncirculated or has minimal wear, you might have a valuable find. Next, check for any signs of minting errors. Look for double dies, misalignments, or off-center strikes. If you find one of these rare features, you could be holding on to a treasure worth thousands of dollars. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1970 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can become extraordinarily valuable. Whether it's the condition of the coin, its historical significance, or the possibility of a minting error, this penny holds potential that most people never even consider. Today, we're focusing on a seemingly humble piece of currency that could actually be worth far more than you think, the 1981 Lincoln penny. Now, you might be wondering how a penny from the 1980s could possibly hold any value beyond its 1 cent face value. Well, stick around because, in this video, we'll dive into the fascinating world of the 1981 Lincoln penny and explore how it could be worth thousands of dollars. The Lincoln penny has been an iconic part of U.S. currency since 1909. Honoring the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Over the years, the penny has gone through several design changes, but it's the Lincoln Memorial design, used from 1959 until 2008, that we're focusing on today. The 1981 Lincoln penny falls into this era, which means it has the familiar reverse design featuring the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of the nation's history and resilience. Now, you might be thinking, a penny from 1981? Isn't that too modern to be valuable? Well, this is where things get interesting. While most 1981 pennies are circulated and still in circulation today, some unique factors can make them worth much more than their face value. The true value of a coin is often determined by its rarity, condition, and the presence of any minting errors. And in the case of the 1981 Lincoln penny, it's all about those rare, uncirculated coins and the special errors that could make them stand out. First, let's talk about the condition of the coin. Like most pennies, the 1981 version was mass-produced and circulated widely, which means most of them have experienced wear and tear over the years. It's no surprise that many of these pennies have been damaged, tarnished, or even bent after spending decades in people's pockets. However, here's the kicker. There are still a few 1981 pennies out there that were kept in pristine condition. These uncirculated pennies, having been carefully stored and kept away from circulation, are highly sought after by collectors. If you happen to find a 1981 Lincoln penny in mint condition, free from scratches, discoloration, or other damage, you might just have a rare find on your hands. But what about those other factors that can add value to a coin? Well, minting errors are another huge reason why some 1981 Lincoln pennies can be worth much more than you'd expect. Minting errors are mistakes made during the coin production process, and these errors are often very rare. A coin that has an error can become a collector's dream because it's unique and stands out from all the other regular coins. For example, some 1981 pennies were struck with a double die, which means that the image on the coin is duplicated. This error happens when the coin is struck twice by the die, causing the design to appear blurry or doubled. A double-die penny is a rare and highly sought-after find for collectors, and it can increase the value of the coin dramatically. Another potential error to look for is a misaligned strike. This happens when the die in the planchet, the blank metal disc used to make coins, don't line up correctly during the striking process. This can cause the image on the coin to be off-center, which creates a unique and collectible look. Misaligned strike pennies are a bit rarer and can be worth much more than a standard 1981 penny, especially if they're in good condition. If you've been holding on to any 1981 Lincoln pennies, it's time to take a closer look. Even though the majority of these coins aren't worth more than their face value, the ones in great condition or with minting errors could be worth a fortune. Whether it's because of their near-perfect condition or a rare minting error, these pennies have caught the eye of serious collectors, and their value has steadily increased over the years. So, how much can you expect to get for a 1981 Lincoln penny if it's in great condition or has a minting error? Well, most 1981 pennies will be worth just 1 cent. However, when you start talking about an uncirculated penny or one with a rare minting error, the price can go up significantly. In some cases, depending on the specific error and condition, these pennies can be worth thousands of dollars. And here's the most exciting part. If you have a 1981 Lincoln penny that's in perfect condition or features a rare minting error, it could be worth an incredible $47,000. Yes, you heard that right. $47,000 for a single penny. It's amazing to think that something as small and ordinary as a penny could be worth so much money. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. Sometimes, the most overlooked coins can be hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered. If you think you might have a rare 1981 Lincoln penny, here's what you should do next. Take a good look at the coin and check for any signs of wear or damage. If the coin is in pristine, uncirculated condition, you might be sitting on a valuable find. Then, inspect the coin for any potential minting errors, such as a double die or misaligned strike. These errors can make all the difference in how much your penny is worth. The world of coin collecting is full of hidden treasures, and the 1981 Lincoln penny is just one example of how a coin that seems common can become extraordinarily valuable. Whether it's because of its historical significance, its rarity, or a minting error, this penny has the potential to make you a lot of money if you know where to look. Today, we're talking about something truly fascinating, the 1982 Lincoln penny. You might be thinking, it's just another penny. But trust me, this particular penny could be worth much more than you think. Stick around because we're about to uncover the hidden value of the 1982 Lincoln penny and show you why it could be worth a small fortune. The Lincoln penny has a long and storied history in the United States. First introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, it has undergone several design changes over the years. The 1982 Lincoln penny, part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, marks an important year in the coin's history due to changes in both the material composition and the minting process. But what really sets the 1982 penny apart from other coins is a series of rare occurrences that make it one of the most sought-after pennies among collectors. Before we get into the specifics of the 1982 Lincoln penny's value, let's first talk about the changes that took place that year. In 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned from using 95% copper to a copper-plated zinc composition for the production of pennies. This was done as a cost-saving measure due to rising copper prices. As a result, both copper and zinc pennies were minted in 1982, creating a fascinating scenario where both types of pennies exist from the same year. This shift in material composition makes the 1982 Lincoln penny a bit more complex than it may first appear. To make matters more interesting, there were some unique minting errors that occurred during the production of the 1982 pennies. These errors make certain 1982 pennies especially rare and valuable, especially for coin collectors who are always on the lookout for the unusual and the rare. When errors happen at the minting stage, it creates coins that are different from the regular production run, and these flaws can actually make the coins far more valuable than those without errors. One such error from the 1982 series that is highly coveted by collectors is the famous 1982 copper penny. Now, the key factor that makes the 1982 copper penny so valuable is the fact that the U.S. Mint was supposed to stop using copper for the pennies, but a small number of copper planchets, the metal discs used to strike the coins, were still in the minting process during the changeover. As a result, a handful of pennies from 1982 were struck using copper, instead of the new copper-plated zinc composition. These copper pennies are incredibly rare and have become a sought-after item in the numismatic world. So how do you tell the difference between a regular 1982 penny and one made of solid copper? It's simple: the weight. The copper pennies from 1982 weigh 3.11 grams, whereas the zinc pennies weigh 2.5 grams. If you happen to have a 1982 penny that feels heavier than usual, it might be one of these rare copper pennies. But the 1982 Lincoln penny doesn't stop there in terms of rare features. Another major reason why this penny can be valuable is because of various minting errors that happened during production. For example, some 1982 pennies were struck with a double die, a minting error that causes the design to appear twice or slightly offset. These double die errors are highly prized by collectors because they represent a unique flaw in the production process, making them far more valuable than standard pennies. Additionally, there were also some 1982 pennies with off-center strikes, which means the design was not perfectly aligned on the coin. These misaligned strikes can make the penny look unusual, and again, highly valuable in the eyes of collectors. Collectors are always on the lookout for these types of errors because they are rare and provide a distinct character to the coin. You might be wondering, just how much could a 1982 Lincoln penny be worth? Well, it really depends on the condition of the coin and whether it has any minting errors. A regular 1982 penny, even in excellent condition, typically holds little more than its face value of 1 cent. However, when you're talking about a copper penny from 1982 or one that features a significant minting error, the value can skyrocket. For example, if you have one of the rare copper 1982 pennies in mint condition, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And if your penny has a double die error or a unique misaligned strike, the value could go up significantly. The rarity of these minting errors and the difficulty in finding them means they are highly prized in the numismatic market. And here's the most exciting part of all: if you happen to have a 1982 Lincoln penny with one of these rare characteristics, whether it's the copper composition or a minting error, it could be worth an astonishing $52,000. Yes, you heard that right, $52,000 for a single 1982 penny. That's the incredible potential value of a penny that has survived the test of time and was made with one of these rare features. Who would have thought that such a small, everyday coin could hold so much value? If you think you might have a 1982 Lincoln penny that could be worth this kind of money, here's what you need to do. Start by checking the weight of the coin. If it's a little heavier than usual, it could be one of the rare copper pennies. Then, carefully inspect the coin for any signs of a minting error, such as a double die or an off-center strike. If you spot one of these errors, you could be looking at a coin worth far more than a penny. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1982 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can turn out to be an extraordinary find. Whether it's the rarity of the copper penny or the value added by a minting error, this penny holds the potential to make you a significant amount of money if you're lucky enough to find one. Today, we have an exciting topic that might just change the way you look at your spare change. It's all about the 1988 Lincoln penny, an iconic coin from the US Mint that could be worth much more than you think. While most people consider pennies just a tiny part of everyday transactions, the 1988 Lincoln penny holds a special place in the hearts of collectors, and we're going to show you why. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be checking your pocket change in a whole new way. First, let's set the stage. The Lincoln penny, which has been part of US currency since 1909, is one of the most well-known coins in American history. The design, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, is something most of us have seen countless times. But what makes the 1988 Lincoln penny so interesting? Well, while the 1988 version may seem like just another year in the long history of this penny, there are a few key details that make it particularly valuable to collectors. Point one of the first things to note is the year itself, 1988. During the 1980s, the US Mint continued to produce large numbers of pennies for circulation, and most of these coins were used daily in transactions. The mint used a copper-plated zinc composition for the penny, which gave it the familiar look and weight that we all recognize. By this point, the U.S. Mint had made significant changes to the production of pennies, including the changeover from a heavier copper alloy coin to the modern copper-plated zinc penny in 1982. So, the 1988 penny was minted in the same style as the pennies produced in the late 80s, copper-plated zinc, with the familiar Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse. But here's where things get a little more intriguing. As with most years, the 1988 Lincoln penny was produced in high quantities, meaning that finding one in excellent condition is becoming a rare feat as time passes. Most pennies from the 1980s have been used extensively, collecting dirt, scratches, and other wear and tear. However, some 1988 pennies managed to survive the test of time in pristine, uncirculated condition. These coins are incredibly sought after by collectors, who value their pristine state. A 1988 penny in mint condition is far rarer than most people realize, and its value can increase significantly over time. But the story of the 1988 Lincoln penny doesn't end with condition alone. Mint errors play a major role in determining the value of any coin. And believe it or not, some 1988 pennies feature rare minting errors that make them stand out among the hundreds of thousands of coins produced that year. The beauty of these error coins lies in their uniqueness. A small flaw or mistake during the minting process can turn a regular penny into a rare and valuable item. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for coins that have been struck incorrectly, and a minting error can dramatically increase a coin's worth. So, what kind of errors should you be looking for with the 1988 Lincoln penny? One of the most common and valuable types of error is the double die error. This occurs when the die that strikes the coin is misaligned or is pressed multiple times, resulting in a design that appears to be duplicated or blurry. A 1988 penny with this error is highly sought after by numismatists and can fetch a premium price. The double die error is easy to spot if you know what to look for. Look closely at the date or Lincoln's features for any signs of doubling. If you find one of these rare error coins, it could be worth far more than a standard penny. Another error to look for is the off-center strike, which happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the striking process. The result is a coin that has the design shifted to one side, creating a distinctive and unique appearance. Off-center strikes are highly collectible because of their irregular shape and the rarity of the error. But it's not just about errors. Condition matters too. As with any coin, the more well-preserved it is, the higher its value. If you have a 1988 Lincoln penny that has been kept in pristine, uncirculated condition, free from scratches, discoloration, and other signs of wear, it could fetch a significant price. Coins that have been stored carefully and preserved in a climate-controlled environment are more likely to be worth more than their circulated counterparts. So, how much could your 1988 Lincoln penny be worth? Well, if you have one that's in perfect, uncirculated condition, it could easily be worth a few dollars to a collector. But if you happen to have one with a rare minting error, such as a double die or off-center strike, the value can increase exponentially. And here's the exciting part. If your 1988 Lincoln penny is in great condition or features a rare error, it could be worth an astounding $55,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $55,000. That's the incredible potential value of a single 1988 Lincoln penny, if it has the right combination of rarity, condition, and error. Imagine finding a penny that's been sitting in your pocket change for years and suddenly realizing it's worth a small fortune. If you think you might have a 1988 Lincoln penny that could be worth something special, here's what you need to do. Start by carefully inspecting the coin for any unusual features. Look closely at the date, Lincoln's portrait, and the reverse design for any signs of doubling or misalignment. Next, check the condition of the coin. If it's in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could already be worth more than a regular penny. And finally, if you come across a rare minting error, you might have just stumbled upon a treasure worth thousands of dollars. So, the next time you find yourself going through your spare change or browsing through your coin collection, remember that the 1988 Lincoln penny has the potential to be far more valuable than you might think. Keep an eye out for those rare minting errors and well-preserved coins. You never know what hidden gems might be sitting right under your nose. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the value of the 1988 Lincoln penny, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any future discoveries. Keep collecting, keep searching, and who knows, your next big find could be worth thousands of dollars. See you next time.